Hey everyone, and welcome to the pilot episode of Deep Dive. My name's Ben.
And I'm Robyn, and today we've got a really interesting deep dive into the world of Just Dance for you all.
Now, hold on a minute, just before we get into things, do you want to maybe give a bit more explanation for those people who don't really know about Just Dance?
I think if you don't know anything about Just Dance in 2023, you must have been living under a rock.
Well, I mean, it's a bit harsh, but yeah, fair enough. I mean, the most I knew prior to this podcast episode was that games are on their 14th entry, I think, and they're made by Ubisoft.
There's a whole lot more to it than that. So there's relationships, there's divorce, there's a multiverse, and all of this just skips over the average player's head. So
I'm sorry, there's a what? There's a multiverse? I feel like we should probably try and elaborate on most of this for all the people at home listening.
And that is exactly what we're going to do. So I think a good place to start with all of this would be with one of the first characters players were ever introduced to in the original game. So the dance for Katy Perry's Hot and Cold.
Okay, so what's the deal with her then?
Well, she's married to the dancer from Rasputin.
Rasputin? I mean, just saying, doesn't really strike me as being into California girls.
Anyway, getting into the actual lore of Just Dance, the most important dances that the Rasputin and Hot and Cold characters appear in are Sugar, Last Friday Night, and Sweet but Psycho. Basically, these three dances tell their story as a couple.
Okay, so the looks of the characters, from what I gather, remain relatively the same throughout each of these dances, with the exception of the Hot and Cold dancer in Sweet but Psycho, but the outfit change is actually relevant to the story, apparently?
Yeah, Sweet but Psycho is basically the dance which depicts their divorce.
Okay, so on the topic of their divorce, it seems like the devs have confirmed this to be canon, which I personally think is insane. I mean, like, I don't know why people devote so much time into weaving lots of little hidden lore and stuff like that and theories, but that is kind of what we're doing right now, so I guess I can't complain.
Yeah, pretty much, but that is the most recent part of their storyline, so we'll get to that in a bit. But the official Just Dance 2019 promotional material also shows the two in like a bridal hold, which seems a bit too on the nose to deny the fact they are in a relationship. And they also appear as drawings holding hands in the High Hopes dance.
Okay, so the devs really lent into all of this hidden lore stuff then, so we might have to pitch this podcast to game theory or something at this rate.
Yeah, there's even a point at which they wander off screen and Hot and Cold reappears wearing Rasputin's beard.
It's an interesting way of expressing your love for someone, isn't it? You know, walk out with their beard. I mean, if my girlfriend decided to steal my beard in my sleep, I don't think that affection is my immediate conclusion, really.
Be a bit odd. But the final instalment of their speculated story so far is in Sweet but Psycho, where they go through their supposed divorce with painting splitting, a figure falling off a wedding cake, and all of that good stuff.
Okay, so the devs really hate this guy at this point then.
Yep, it's the second track that confirms a canon relationship between the dancers, and later on, the cause of the breakup is implied in the song Hungarian Dance No. 5. It's thought that Rasputin cheats on her, but there's been some developments on that recently that kind of suggest otherwise, which leads to our next theory.
Oh, okay, so this is where the multiverse stuff starts kicking in then.
Exactly.
So basically, for those of you unaware on all this, there is a portal that opens up during their song together Last Friday Night, which could be the key to unravelling all of this. So if what we're about to get into is correct, Rasputin might not have cheated after all, but he might be dead or something. I don't really know if that's a better alternative, if I'm being honest.
Actually, I think we can probably rule out the fact he's dead. He does come back at the end of the routine of Sweet but Psycho, but he looks pretty shocked that all the photos are off the wall. To me, that signals more towards him being kidnapped, or oh shit, I got caught.
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe the big bad we're going to be discussing in the second half isn't the biggest threat to Rasputin after all. I mean, if I were in Hot and Cold's position, he'd probably be dead by now.
Yeah. So, for a little bit of background context for the listeners, there is a character in the franchise called Night Swan who can open up portals into other songs, or I guess just different realities in a Just Dance game.
So she's an evil Doctor Strange then?
Not really.
No, she's an evil Doctor Strange. I don't really care, to be honest. She is evil Doctor Strange.
You can think what you want. She can open portals between songs and by extension the games themselves, so it's got a wider reach than Doctor Strange level stuff. The songs that she connects to include ones like Physical, Rather Be, Can't Stop the Feeling, I Like It, and Last Friday Night.
Ah, okay, and that last one's the one where Rasputin and Hot and Cold were together, right? I mean, I'm one of the hosts, and even I'm struggling to keep up with how much lore there is to keep on top of.
It's a huge rabbit hole, but yeah, that is the one.
Okay, so considering the song she does all of this from, which I believe it was featured in a more recent entry, it's almost like the branch of Ubisoft that makes the games watched something like Spider-Man No Way Home and saw the multiverse and just said, yeah, we're doing that too. And not that I'm complaining, because offshoot, Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the best films ever made.
Yeah, but different to Spider-Man, this multiverse is the murderous, criminal, recordy kind.
Sorry, what?
Yep. Night Swan's fan wiki page has a criminal record for the character, including murder, kidnapping, torture, slavery, and all of that. So, it's just a few little things.
What? What the f***? I mean, the games are rated 3, aren't they? There's no way there's a mass murdering, multiversal torturer in them. Like, I get it's just speculation, but if that is true, this is insanity. I mean, Ubisoft, I'm not calling you out on this podcast, but maybe up the rating to an 18. Just saying, I could be complaining.
Anyway, before we got sidetracked on that, basically Night Swan kidnaps 4 backing dancers in the song Can't Stop the Feeling, who later become the backing dancers for her own song Witch. You can probably see where this is going, but effectively I'm suggesting that she kidnaps Rasputin, so he didn't cheat and not return to Hot and Cold after Hungarian track number 5, but could have been kidnapped and possibly tortured if we're factoring in Night Swan's crimes.
I mean, from where I'm sitting, I feel like it all adds up, like one of the portals does lead to the song, the 2 feature in it together, so there's definitely a link. It's a bit loose, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, for sure, but the devs haven't confirmed this on their social media pages as of us making this, so it's still speculation at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, there are loads more videos and theories that we've spoken about that we probably don't have the time to go into today. We don't really have much time to deep dive into them, but perhaps these could be good for a later episode of the podcast, potentially.
Good point. I could definitely spend 10 minutes talking about Justin Timberlake.
And I'm sure I could sit here and listen to you doing that. So if any of you listening want to hear that, or you have your own contributions to the theory, then perhaps you should give us a comment and let us know. All right, until then, though, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.